Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, back to another episode of For the Republic. I'm your host, Louis LV. That's Katie right there. Say what's up. Say hello to the peoples.
Yo, how's it going, guys?
We're doing good. We're doing good.
How's it,
We hope you
guys?
guys are doing good.
Good, good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
everybody's
man.
doing good. All right, so we have some news to discuss today. Today, I'm going to start out with this. I didn't run this by you, but just because it's news. Did you check out that the House approved the NDAA, which is just like the National Security Defense budget for the next year? Um, this is the 63rd consecutive time Congress has approved it year after year.
hmm
So this is like a record for
hmm
them, I guess. And it included, the more controversial point, included re-allowing the FISA, reauthorizing FISA, which was a complete sham.
Bowser.
FISA, which was, as you know, the FISA court gave effectively authority for the government to spy on citizens. The FBI, or I guess law enforcement, would uh, make an application, create a warrant, and submit it to the FISA court. This is just like generic. I'm not an attorney.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah,
fact check
yeah.
me.
Right, right.
All right. Don't.
Fact check him.
I'm not an attorney. All right. But this is
Fact
basically
check
the
him.
gist. They would go to a FISA court where a FISA judge. It's a specific place. The judge would look it over and approve or deny it if they believe. And if it was approved, the FBI or whatever would be able to spy on, let's just say, wiretap whoever they're going after. So if you remember what they did to Trump back in 2015, 2016, when they effectively had a secret application and through to the FISA court and they could spy on Trump.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah, it was in 2015 when the Democrats under
Oh, okay.
Obama.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, so I
I don't
remember
remember that
Trump
one.
in 2015. Yeah, you weren't really into politics back then, but Trump in
Yeah, and
2015, like I think after he won the election or before, pretty much said that I think they're spying on my campaign. I think they're spying in
this.
my building. So they wiretapped his own building, the Trump Towers in New York City. And he called it out in the media, as you know. What do you think the media said?
It might be during his campaign, actually.
I think it's during and afterwards. I think they were spying before and after. So, but I think they were doing it later, like towards when they really knew that he was like. I think it was after the primaries. I don't think it was before the primaries or during the primaries. But anyways,
That would make sense.
the point is, it's illegal. I mean, the Fourth Amendment pretty much dictates that the government does not have the authority to spy on its citizens. It doesn't. But the FISA court is used always as a justification for, oh, you know, it's what keeps Americans safe because we're able to see who's the terrorist or not. But then when the FBI and the CIA testify to Congress, they can never tell us, even though we know, they can never tell us how many terrorists have crossed our southern border. They're not able to tell us if there's ever federal agents within terrorists or if there's terrorist cells that they know of in the United States. They're never
I mean, the
transparent
border
about
is
that.
wide open, so
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. We know that there are dozens, if not hundreds and thousands of terrorists crossing our border because there's people coming from everywhere.
Yeah. Well, let me guess what the media is. Well, they're either not talking about it or they're just denying that the FBI is doing all that.
Well, they're just ignoring the fact that FISA even exists at this point. They won't. They're not even
Okay, so
touching.
they're not talking.
They're
Okay.
talking. They're complaining about that there was no abortion in this bill. That there was no transgender stuff in this bill. I mean, the Wall Street Journal in their article says no abortion and transgender funds in this bill. We're talking about the military. Why is there abortion and transgenderism?
Oh,
Get them the hell out of here. Like what? No, they're not focused on that. But conservatives are focused because my main problem is this is just another example of how we complain and moan and bitch. These people in Congress, these Republicans who go on Twitter, they go on X, whatever the fuck it's called, they go on Instagram, on Facebook, and they complain and bitch about the Democrats using big tech or the government spying on a campaign or using its power to infringe on your rights. And then while they say that, they get off stage or they log off their phone and then they go vote for a bill like this, which allows FISA to continue. It doesn't make any sense. And for the speaker, who I'm
hmm
now not liking, and I've been sort of suspicious on from the beginning, even though I did support him rising, I said this is a good pick. But now lately, I've been kind of like, wait a second. Before he was speaker, he was saying that he didn't like Ukraine aid. Now they're passing Ukraine aid.
Yeah, I didn't
What
get that either.
changed? No, what changed?
I yeah, exactly.
And Laura Loomer on Twitter, give her credit, posted a photo of him and Paul Ryan uh, in Congress yesterday. And Paul Ryan's not even a member of Congress. I guess he was visiting. They were talking for a long time, and they were walking down the stairs together, talking. I guess he was in a meeting with him. This is not the company you need to be associated with. If you're, and again, I get it. He has a Bible. He's a Christian. That does not make you a MAGA conservative just because you own a Bible. I own a Bible. That doesn't make me the MAGA, the ultra MAGA guy.
Mm-hmm.
If that's who you were elected by, and I should have known when all of a sudden, remember it was Jim Jordan and Steve Scalise, and then out of nowhere this dude shows up. His name just gets
Mm-hmm.
picked out of a hat,
Randomly.
and everybody stands down and votes for him. I should have known that there's
And
something
I,
up.
and I didn't even know who he was either.
No, a lot of people didn't know who he was. I mean, I
Yeah,
barely knew who he
exactly.
was. I just knew who he
Just
existed.
came, yeah, just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, there were two camps, and they were all gridlocked. And then this guy comes out of nowhere, and they're like, "Yeah, let's vote for him." Wait a second, you guys are vastly disagreeing on major things like Ukraine aid, Israel spending, other things, and now you're voting for this guy. Both sides are compromising for this guy who is supposedly supposed to be more like the MAGA side than he is the establishment, but he's working for the establishment because when you effectively say, "Yeah, you know what, we might reconsider. We're going to look into um, spending in for Ukraine," that's a big red flag. That's something we do not want. Nobody wants it. And then when you're saying that we're renewing the FISA court because it's a matter of national security, that's just a lie. And then just because you think you're going to be able to say, oh yeah, because we're going to use it to fight off China, nothing you guys have approved is designed to fight off China. The Stop China bill
Nothing.
that you guys passed 3 years ago or 4 years ago did nothing to fight off China. It was just a massive spending orgy.
Do you know what's in the $200 million aid?
That's the one to Ukraine, or is that to the military?
Ukraine.
Ukraine? Who knows? And that's the other thing. None of them. If see, if you want to play it, you could play it this way. He could play it this way of saying, you know what, I'm not going to approve Ukraine aid until I get an audit of every single dollar we've spent. But I haven't heard that, and I heard him. I actually did hear him. I heard an interview of him when he was with Brett Baer on Fox. I listened to 26 minutes. I don't like listening to politicians for over 5. I did this for him though. I wanted to hear how he sounded, what he was like, how did he come off, and he comes off as a typical politician. I mean, he's nerdy looking. I mean,
Yeah,
he's just a
he's very
typical
nerdy
politician.
looking.
But
Yeah.
he's just a typical politician. It's I'm not going to give you a definite answer, but I'm going to pretend I did. And I did not like, and I didn't really hear anything concise of concrete and clear of. I am going to withhold Ukraine aid until we get a full audit. Not say we haven't got a full audit. No, tell me what you're going to do about it. Then you're the speaker. You're in charge of this. You set the table now. You set the table that we're going to eat on. It starts with
Yeah,
him, but he's not. I just don't know what's going on. And then when I see the people he's associating with, and then this impeachment doesn't look like it's going to go anywhere, and we're losing people
oh
like we.
no.
I mean, the fact that you even allowed the vote to get to the floor to expel George Santos is just a farce. No Democrat will do this to their own people. They have a senator in the Senate who's corrupt, far more corrupt than George Santos. Far more corrupt than George. I mean, George Santos bought Botox and OnlyFans subscriptions. Menendez is literally getting gold bars from Egyptian
Ah, right.
lobbyists and
Forgot about him.
chiropractors in New York City and getting vacations. And on one of those vacations, he supposedly had sex with like a 16-year-old, which that's disappeared completely.
Oh
The
God.
Dominican Republic. That's Dominicans. But then, and then he's actually not Dominican. He's Cuban. He's Cuban American. But like, but that's the level of deferral or just blatant disregard for whatever the hell they said a minute ago that Democrats have. They'll say this about George Santos, but they won't do anything to Mark. What's his name? Menendez. Yeah, I forget his first name.
Yeah.
Yeah, they won't do anything to him. But Republicans act in such a different way. See, we don't unite on anything. We're always bitching and complaining and whining, and that's why we lose majorities. Because people say, "Okay, we elected you," but as soon as you get into office, I mean, what have you done? What has this question? What has the GOP House done in this last year, ever since it took over? It's about to be a year since they took over the House again. What have they done? I can't see one thing they've done that would satisfy any real conservative American. Nothing. Nothing has been done. They haven't halted. I mean, they're halting Ukraine spending for a month. Okay, Zelensky is still getting his money. He's still getting his child support. Then, like, what?
Bro, is it true that he's like renting a mansion at Florida?
Not only renting, I
One
think I've heard that he bought a mansion in Florida.
bottom mansion?
I think he's bought a
How
mansion in Florida because I think, remember, Ukraine or before the war was it was the second most corrupt country in that region. Russia and Ukraine are vastly equal in corruption. That's how bad they are. And Ukraine's a way smaller country than Russia. And then we're not even asking them for a complete layout of the money we're sending them. We're sending them weapons, and then we're sending them money to buy weapons, which we're also giving them. And we're sending them
how
millions of dollars.
how is he able to get that? How was he able to get the house though? Unless someone else used it under their name, and
Yeah,
he
so a
was
lot
able
of
to get the
times,
house.
yeah, a lot of times what a lot of these leaders, these corrupt leaders, like Putin probably has the same thing. Putin probably has a person or a holding company that's not under his name at all that will buy properties up for him. So he has
Well,
let's
that
just
would
say
make
he has
sense.
like an agent, or he has like a financial agent. Just look at it that way.
Oh,
He has a guy who's buying stuff for him that's never under his name,
okay.
but it's under something associated to him. If you look deep enough, it's associated to him. So somebody's probably tracked it down and said, wait a second, this holding company that owns this mansion is owned by a guy who works for a guy who works for a company that works for a guy who's owned by and eventually leads back to Zelensky.
So in this situation, Zelensky probably has someone from the United States and
No, you can
decided
buy
to buy
property as a
this.
foreigner. No, foreigners can come and buy. That's why the Chinese are able to come to this country, not be citizens, and buy farmland near military bases.
Yeah, I
You
don't
can
get that
own.
part either.
Yeah, a guy from India who has money can come to the United States and buy a house.
I
He
don't
can
think I
do
like
that.
that actually.
You shouldn't like that, but you can
Yeah,
do it.
I don't like a bunch of foreigners coming to America and buy shit off for us.
But that's what they do. That's exactly what they do, and they do it a
Annoying.
lot from India. A lot of the Indians do it. A lot of the Chinese do it. The Arabs are doing it.
Hmm.
That's why you see, like for example, an Arab can come to the United States and buy a soccer team. A soccer team is in America, and they're buying a stadium. It's in America. Well, of course, that's why, because they're allowed to buy property. And you only do that because you want the foreign investment. Foreign investment is a big deal, even for a country this size. So, anyways, back to the point. Yeah, so that was the news that we got for today. Just pissing me off once again of like how Republicans use it. I keep telling you, Republicans are their worst enemy. They say the Democrats because people are going to listen to that and see that. I just asked you one major question and you can't find an answer to it, and nobody can. Because Republicans aren't going to be able to show in 2024 when Trump's on the top of the ballot what have they done to tell you that they're serious about governing. They can't choose a speaker. The other guy from Florida, the Congressman Gates, who supposedly slept with a 14-year-old too. Well, I don't know whatever happened to that. Doesn't like didn't never like the Mike McCarthy. No, not Mike McCarthy.
Yeah.
Mike McCarthy's the football coach. What's his name? The guy who's quitting. The speaker, the former speaker.
Oh, Kevin McCarthy.
Kevin McCarthy. Yeah, Kevin McCarthy. Yeah, Mike McCarthy is the coach of the Cowboys. But I mean, Matt Gates never liked Kevin McCarthy, and so he has this vendetta where he's first of all they never make a really good deal. So the one time that Kevin McCarthy does something that Matt Gates doesn't like, Matt Gates just goes and says, "We're going to vote you out of here," and then Boebert, who's not going to be a congresswoman again in 2024 because that's not going to happen, who messed up again in this bill. I'm going to get to that later because she's pissed me the fuck off already. They go
Did you
out.
hear no, sorry. Did you hear Kevin McCarthy made a little speech? It said Democrats are running like Americans, but conservatives or Republicans are running like a country club or something like that.
That Democrats run like Americans.
Like yeah, they're like real American, and Republicans are
I
running
haven't
around like
seen that
strict
quote.
country club, something like that.
Well, both I would say this. I guess he's half right. both parties operate like country clubs.
Mm.
See, when you have 140 something the Republicans in the House of Representatives voting to approve this NDAA and including the FISA extension, those are establishment. That is the country club. They're in the country club, and people like you and I who don't have the funds to run for Congress aren't invited in. We're not allowed to be in the country club. We have to have a membership to the club. So they do.
Nope.
They do operate like country club. That's what I've always said. We talked about this with DeSantis, and I'll make this connection. Remember DeSantis? He didn't like the fact that a former BLM guy likes Trump now and has changed his mind
Yeah.
with Democrats. What did
Yeah.
Ron DeSantis do? He freaked out. He said, "Look at this guy. He's accepting an endorsement from BLM. I would never." Well, see, that's you pretty much being the gatekeeper of the country club. You're not letting people into the movement. The MAGA wasn't about the country club. It rejected it. The GOP before Trump was the country club. People viewed it
Mm.
as the elite group, the elite party. It was with just a bunch of rich white people, and that was it. It was just a bunch of rich white people that liked low taxes. They weren't going to take your guns. They never talked any of that reckless stuff. They were gentlemen, but they were pussies. And now it's different. Under Trump, it's a national
I
movement
agree. I agree
where
with
it's
that. Yeah.
grassroots. There's working class people, but there's also people with more money. There are people with money that like Donald Trump. So it's not about class, it's not about race, it's not about gender, it's not about ethnicity. It's about a sense of love for country. That if you love and appreciate this country, you're joining it because you want to see this country do well. That's what that movement is about. It's not about white supremacy. It's not about Aryan nationalism or It's not about anything of that. But old Republicans make it seem like that because they were just stuffy, old, uncharismatic, and weak. And Ron DeSantis is a
Yeah.
good example of that. So that is right. So he's right when he says that. Now Democrats to say that they run like real Americans. I mean, what fat?
I
Like
mean, yeah, even I was kind of lost when he said that, but I saw this on Instagram, and it's funny because I do see a lot of conservatives. Every time Kevin McCarthy does something, they just like freak the fuck out. But
right.
when when he said that first part where he said Democrats run like American, I think what he meant was they are sticking together and doing what they need to do.
Yeah, I think that's what they do. I think that's probably what he means, is because it's
Yeah,
incredibly accurate. That's what I've always said. Democrats, we've said it all the time.
and then
Democrats never
Republicans
fall for it.
run, yeah, and Republicans run like I think he said like strict country club, something like that.
Yeah, it's all
Yeah, I think that's what
drama.
he
It's
said.
all you got to be a member. They're just
Yeah,
snobby, and that
yeah.
is true. They are snobby, and it's unfortunate. That's the thing. It's like it's really unfortunate because it's why Americans always are more eager to vote for Democrats because they view them as the we know they're insane, but Americans see the cute Democrats who don't say crazy stuff, who are like, they do crazy stuff, but they don't say it. They're not voting for AOC. They're voting for Joe Manchin. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
See, they're not
right, right,
voting
right.
for Katie Porter in California. They like
Hmm.
Kevin Padilla or they like Gavin Newsom. They're not voting for the mayor of Boston. They're voting for
Hmm.
Markey or the other one, or like Blumenthal or something. They're voting for these supposedly statesman-like Democrats who are ruining the country, but regardless, don't seem wild. They don't do crazy stuff. They don't mess with the rules, even though they do. But they don't outwardly do it, like Matt Gaetz going in the House and pretty much not doing anything for like 3 months because he doesn't like Kevin McCarthy.
Hmm.
That's
Yeah,
what Americans saw from that. They're not seeing it because the Republicans are never able to sell the vision of what we want like Trump can sell it. Trump can sell the vision, but he can't be the only one marketing it.
he can't be the only one. Nope.
These elected officials that we have in Congress are blander than tofu and just dumb as rocks. And they have the charisma of Ron DeSantis. And that's the problem.
And it feels like Trump is like babysitting them too.
He constantly has to, and I think that's why I think he's tired of it. He's just like, I mean, we have to find people. And when Anna Paulina Luna, the congresswoman from Florida, says, yeah, we have a lot of people retiring. We need new people, MAGA people, to come in and run for these seats. She's absolutely right, but nobody wants to get in because the RNC under Miss Romney, she's not going to support you because what has she done in the previous elections to prove to you that she will support you?
Now you have her. How the hell do you get rid of her?
I don't know because Trump's mistake was not pushing more for Harmeet Dillon. That was one mistake he made.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I mean, and then Ron DeSantis is pretending as if he's best friends with Harmeet Dillon, even though you're the favorite pick of you're literally Romney's favorite pick. He and Haley are Romney's favorite pick. So what the hell are you trying to kid him for? That's his daughter, dumbass. God, just Rob. Rob is insane, man. Rob just pisses me the fuck off. Yeah. So, anyways, this happened, and I decided to say, what do you think about it? But yeah, this is just a continuation of why Republicans don't get anywhere or don't get anything done. It's always self sabotage. It's annoying as hell because you vote for these
Yes.
people, and it takes
Yep.
it's every 2 years that you can actually do something about it.
When they even like decide to pass this whole impeachment thing, it didn't even like, yay, like we're celebrating, yeah, but
Well, where are we
why, like
going?
why, yeah, exactly. Where are we going and why now?
Exactly. Do you really think we're going anywhere? Like, okay, you made Joe Biden go to a courthouse and testify to a prosecutor, I guess. I mean, that wasn't really your doing. He
Like
just
I
had
don't
to
even
do
think
it,
I don't think it's even that important to
and
do
nothing's
that.
going to happen at the end.
Exactly.
Okay, nothing's going to happen at the end.
I don't know, man. It's pretty annoying to see that.
It is annoying because we
It's it's
know and
even it's
everyone knows.
even it's even more annoying when you see all these conservatives on social media cheering about it. It's like, guys, like
Okay, we're
there's
not
bigger
going
things
anywhere.
to worry about.
No, we're not going anywhere, and it is important. I mean, if we could impeach Biden and get the hell out of here, like all of them, that would be great if it was realistic. But it's not. It's a waste of time.
It is.
It's a
I agree.
waste of time. Complete waste of time. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna move on to the next segment here. Let's just talk about there was a movie that's coming out in 2024 called Civil War. You and I both saw the trailer. It's effectively a a a it's a shitstorm of stuff happening. Effectively, the United States is, I guess, fragmented um into a bunch of smaller republics. There's this weird alliance of the Alliance of California and Texas. There's the Republic of Florida. There's just a complete, just, I mean, nobody knows what the fuck is happening.
No, no.
Nobody knows what the fuck is happening.
Yeah, I can tell you're also confused too.
I'm confused because it's just, there are pretty
It's
much just,
it's also it's one of those movies where it's so confusing but make you want to watch it.
yeah, I'm gonna watch it because I want to know what the fuck happened here. Like, who's inventing this? Like, okay, what is California and so California and Texas are blue, and Florida's the red place. Obviously, they're already predicting. They're like, yeah, Texas is gonna be a Democrat state. That's their fantasy. They want Texas to be a Democratic state. It just never happens.
They better not.
It just never happens. Well, we'll see. But with all these immigrants they got coming in, but we'll see. I mean, that's pretty much like what they want. But it starts off. The trailer starts off obviously like there's like, I guess, drone strikes are going to happen. The government is drone striking major cities. There are terror attacks happening, chemical attacks. There's a store where this lady's like, they're like, hey, don't you know that there's a civil war going out outside? And that lady's like, yeah, I just don't like to get involved. And they're like, oh my God. I mean, like, what? You're getting offended that she's like, I don't give a fuck. I mean, it's not here. I'm in the middle
What
of
the
nowhere.
fuck? Well, they're having a conversation while there's bombs going around next
Well,
next
I guess they were looking for
on the
supplies at this
street.
lady's store. They were just looking for supply. That was a scene in the movie, which I don't get, I guess. And then they're
Is over
trying
there
to
chatting.
make it to
Hey,
the White
girl, how's
House.
it going?
They're trying to make it to the White House, I guess, so that the black woman or something, or the kid or the lady can be president or something.
Okay.
I guess, I think that's what it looks like. I mean, they're just traveling. Nick Offerman is the president, and he's like, it just looks incredibly like ridiculous. I just don't understand it.
Are we even allowed to show? Or
Yeah, we're
are
not
they gonna
showing
remove
it
that?
because we don't think we're gonna I don't think we're being allowed to show it. I don't think we can. Let me just play right here. Let me see if it's
Do you think this movie is just like a conspiracy of like, um, when the election is nearby, or Trump is president, then a civil war is gonna happen?
Well, remember, yeah, that's another reason. I don't know if this has to do with Trump exactly, but I do know it has to do with. Remember, someone who not our best friend, the person you admire most, Mr. Schwab, came out pretty much saying that there was going to be um, a major catastrophe that was going to make COVID-19 look like a little storm. He said that. He came out
Oh,
recently and said, there are going to
was
be
like a
power attacks
worldwide.
on power grids,
Yeah, right.
lack of electricity, food scarcity, social unrest, and just stuff like that, and that it was such a major disaster was going to come and happen soon that it would make COVID-19 look like a small scandal, pretty much. And when people like that say things like that, and Obama comes out and they release this movie that's based on a book apparently, where it's similar to this, where there's like major power grid shuts down, and then on the same day in the same week, on Monday or Tuesday, remember the Chinese hacked our power grids.
Yeah, they did.
They hacked
Yep.
into a utilities company or a pipeline. So this is laying the foundation, laying the groundwork for a future potential catastrophe. I believe by 2024 we're going to have a situation not like that. I don't think crazy as that, but we're going to have major issues with our power grid. I think that they're going to shut it down. I think we're going to have major shutdowns in 2024, and we're here. We're right here. It's almost the end of the year, so we're getting closer
I,
to that.
I'm thinking it'll probably start maybe like in spring or something like that, and then slow down a little bit in the summer, and then when the election comes nearby, that's when all shit hits the fan.
Well, they're
That
not. You
that
can't
th-
slow
this
it down. You can't slow it down. Once it starts, it starts.
this is
They're
what I'm
getting
this is what I'm thinking.
they're starting in the spring or in the summer, and it's going to just escalate, and shit's going to hit the fan. We might see Joe Biden die. We might see Kamala Harris take over. We might see massive unrest. We might see again, like Alex Jones said in with Tucker, we might see sleeper cells going off in the country. We might see all of this happening at the same time. We might be seeing it's called predictive programming for a reason. You alert the public to something without alerting them. You make them think about this. You make them think this could happen, this could happen, this could happen, and then boom, it
But
happens.
it doesn't happen.
And then boom, it
Oh,
happens.
okay,
Boom, it
okay,
happens. They're prepared for it. They're expecting it. They it doesn't seem like a coincidence that it happens.
okay, right.
So people are saying, "Oh yeah, remember that movie? Oh yeah, it happened. Oh yeah, oh my, it's this is just like that movie."
Hmm.
No one's going to freak out. But if it just happens, it's massive chaos. There's still going to be massive chaos. But if it just happens, there's massive unrest. So this is just predictive programming. They're telling us without telling us, yeah, this is what we might do. This is what we're going to do. Because when you hear people like Carl von Schwab come out and say exact things along these lines, massive power outages, food scarcity, massive social unrest, almost like an anarchy unfolding, this is what's going to happen. And I would predict, I'll say it from now on, I'll just predict it here. I'll call it. Yeah, this is going to happen. I do not think
Yeah.
they're not. I don't think they're going to let us get to 2024 without putting anything up. They haven't done it yet, by the way. The jail thing. You think the jail thing is one thing. You think the indictments on Trump and the potential that he might go to jail. People think that that's the thing that's going to that they think that's it. That's not it.
Is
This
this
is
one
it.
way? Sometimes you ever want to question why they can't leave us alone. Um, but
Because
is this like one?
they need control, because
Yeah,
they want control. They believe that they are destined, that they are a superior intellect of human being. See, they're transhuman. This is what Jones talks about, the transhuman. They believe that they are almost godlike, and we know
yeah,
from history that
right.
that ends very badly. They
And
believe they're transhuman. They believe they've surpassed human cognitive ability. They believe that they are far smarter, more significant, far more brighter, intuitive, that they are the ones that have a right and have the capacity and the intelligence and capabilities to tell you how you should live your lives. That there should be a global population of only 500 million people. That's what they
yeah,
believe.
right.
That's what they believe.
So, so with these events that are coming up, is this a way for them to break our will, our spirit,
Yeah, it
our,
all
you
is.
know,
It all is.
yeah,
See, I've been looking. See, when COVID hit and after the COVID pandemic, I didn't just focus on the Fauci. See, if Ron DeSantis really cared about COVID stuff, he wouldn't talk. He wouldn't just bitch about Fauci all the damn time. That's how I know he's not serious about it. Because I've researched stuff about how the Italians handled COVID, how the Koreans handled COVID, how the Swedish handled COVID, how the British handled COVID. See, Trump wouldn't talk about how he didn't like about. He didn't just let Fauci do whatever the fuck he wanted. He complained about it. He just didn't have the ability to just rein it all in time. He was also outstretched. But he talked about how
oh
Korea
yeah,
and Sweden
right.
were the ones that maybe we shouldn't have locked down that much. He did talk about Sweden and Korea and how their ways of using ivermectin and other remedies worked. Are we just going to ignore that? But I remember the Italians and the British. So the reason the British were able to do the huge lockdowns and draconian lockdowns they did is because they looked at the Italians. When the Italians, under the previous government, obviously not the one led by Maloney right now, back in 2020,
Mhm.
that government did very similar lockdowns like China. The Italians did. Remember, the Italians were the first country
Yeah,
to lock down. They were the first countries to have those Chinese guys come in with COVID. They were the first ones. They locked down
yeah.
very strictly and very strongly and very early. And they had immensely draconian. People couldn't leave their homes. That's how they couldn't leave their homes. The British, the British health experts in the government looked at that, and the consultants that came on, I forget the names, but the consultants that came on said, if Italy can contain and lock down their people in the same way of China, we can do the same thing here in Britain. They said that. There are memos and emails that say that. Look at Italy, we're going to do the exact same thing. And what ended up happening? They ended up doing the exact same thing and even harder than Italy because they saw the model and they saw the people responding and bowing down to the COVID laws that they saw happening in Italy and they saw happening in the United Kingdom and they saw happening in China. Like you said, that's what they wanted. They wanted people to just submit.
Yeah.
And
Um,
so it happened here the same thing. So that's what they wanted. And this is all manners of breaking people down, making them say, you know what, I give up. You will be my overlords. You will tell me what I have to eat. You will tell me what I can have, what I can't have, when I can have it, when I can't have it. You will decide everything. You will take my children, you will indoctrinate them, you will own my homes, manage my electricity, tell me where I can go, where I can't go, what I can read, what I can't read, when I can do it, when I can't do it, how many children I can have, how I can raise them, where they can go to school, what car I can drive, how I can cook my food, what food I can eat. That's why they're always talking about crickets and food because they don't
oh
they
yeah,
want to they want to crush you. They want to crush us. They view us as toxic. They view us as a toxic version of of the human species. That's what they're doing. They're transhuman that want to dehumanize everyone else. It's insane. It's an insane thing, but it's a real thing. We've seen that in history of people that have viewed themselves to be almost godlike, who believe that they can reshape, reshape and remake our civilizations, and they
why
inevitably
can't it
fail.
happen to another generation? Why does it, why does that have to be our generation? Why does that have to be us, man? Wow.
Yeah, but remember, every generation has its villains, and it's always the heroes who have to step up and win. So every generation has their enemies.
Yeah, I agree. It's also even tougher with Italy because aren't majority of the population like seniors?
Well, Europe has a big problem where, yeah, like I wouldn't say the majority of Italy are seniors. I would say that,
Not like most, yeah, not
yeah,
like
well,
most, but
they have the same problem that Japan has, that Korea has, that Hungary has. They have a problem that in 100, 200 years, those cultures will be wiped out. In 100 to 200 years, there won't be any more Japanese people. It won't be a
yeah,
country. There's going to be maybe 5 to 20 million people on that island because there aren't enough young people. They're reproducing at at less than 1%.
Yeah, it sucks to see that. Yeah,
Koreans are having the same problem. The Americans are having the same. We're almost on that path where
we're almost on that path.
Americans are
Yeah.
not reproducing at two. They're close to two, but they're decreasing. The Italians are having the same problem where they're not reproducing at a sustainable rate, which is over 2%, over two. So over two children by per the average family. That's a sustainable rate.
Oh, okay.
At least
Okay.
two
Right.
children
Yeah.
per family
Yeah.
per household. That's the average. So Italy's having the same problem as a lot of these other cultures, where in fact in 200 years there may not Italians may not be a people anymore. They mean that they just may be a small minority of a people. That's the reason why people are saying you may that. That's why they don't justify, but we know they're justifying the mass immigration of Africans and these uncivilized swines
That
coming in.
makes it worse too. Right.
They're pretty much saying they're invading these countries, and these guys are not having enough children. They're not having enough children. They're not doing it.
Hmm.
For whatever reason, just a multitude of reasons. So that's just a major factor.
Yeah.
That's a major factor. But this Civil War, I'm gonna watch that movie, but I would not be surprised that after that movie is released to the public and they watch it, I wouldn't be
When is it
surprised
coming out?
that shit hits the fan. Apparently next year. What when? Around?
Premiere in 2024.
Do you know what? Is there a date?
Uh, I am looking at it now. Just says 2024 for now.
All right, so I wouldn't be surprised if this comes out near election time. I wouldn't be surprised, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're trying to if they
Twitch.
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I know they. I mean, imagine they put this out on like July 4th or something. Oh, okay, I see it. Civil War will premiere on April 26th, 2024, a little more than 6 months before the 2024 presidential election.
This is predictive programming. Yeah, this is calculated. So I wouldn't be surprised if shit hits the fan before that. I mean, after that movie comes out and before the election, I wouldn't be surprised, and I would be very weary of that.
Actually, yeah, I don't know if I want to watch it now.
No, I'm gonna watch it. I mean, that doesn't make a difference if you don't watch it or not.
I don't know I don't know what's gonna happen, man.
Nothing's gonna happen to you. I'm just saying that it's gonna happen to the country, to the world.
Oh, no,
That
yeah,
the
exactly.
movie,
Yeah.
yeah, you not watching it doesn't make a difference. It's gonna happen regardless. But you gotta, I'm gonna watch
You
it
don't know
just to
that.
see. I'm just gonna watch it to see exactly how they say because I want to see how this plays out. But yeah,
Yeah, I'll be down to watch it.
yeah. So we're gonna move on to the next subject here. If you didn't see, there was the a comedian from Minnesota, a comedian from
A
Minnesota
comedian in
went to
Minnesota.
Colombia to see a girl that he fell in love with after meeting her once, I guess, and spending time. And he had become a fan of going to Medellin and spending time. And Medellin is the new hub for the red pill and passport Brodies. I'm going to talk about them a little bit because they just pissed me the fuck off.
Dude, that sounds like you.
It really isn't though. So I say so a Hmong American comedian and activist, Xiong. His name is let's see what his name is.
To To Zhejiang.
His name is Tou Xiao Xiong. Was found dead in the city of Medellin. He was a prominent comedian. Um, I guess he was well known in Minnesota. He was based out of Minnesota, and he billed himself as America's first Hmong comedian. I guess the Hmong people are just to go on this tangent. They are indigenous people in China, so they're like an indigenous group of China.
Ah,
They
okay.
live mostly in China and in Southeast Asia,
Hmm.
but they're indigenous. They're like the Native Americans, and I'm sure because he was also an activist for them. I'm sure he's an activist because the Chinese, the communist Chinese, the ever so loving communist Chinese, are probably ethnically
That's
cleansing them
fun.
at this moment.
Right.
Because what they want is Han Chinese, the Han people. That's what they are. The communists in China are Han Chinese nationalists. And what they want is create a homogenous Han China. Anyways,
Dude has a weird smile and a big nose.
right. So this comedian dies. He passed away on Monday. He was found dead. So on Wednesday, the authorities pretty much said that they're investigating that his body was found on Monday by people in the neighborhood of Robledos, which is just like it's one of the more popular neighborhoods. Um,
Have you been in that neighborhood?
so it's like it's such a neighborhood. People pretty much it's not really meant for foreigners. This is where just most people live. I mean,
Oh,
it's
okay, right.
yeah, it's just like a neighborhood where people live. It's
It's
one
not
of
like
the it's the
we could
third
just like walk
biggest.
around. Just yeah.
Um,
Oh, look at those houses.
yeah, so the people like going to that one because it's the houses on the hill, and people like taking photos of like there are houses built into the hills, and that's like a cultural thing that people go. But that's
Mm,
mostly it for
yeah.
tourism. You're not really walking through there. Um, you're going to really mostly other places. Like this is mostly like where people live, education, hospitals. Like it's not really like. But this guy went there because he had, I guess, went there before, and he found a girl that he liked, really liked, and he went back. He went back. He met her online. He really liked her. He went. They hung out at a club, and he was kidnapped. The
Of
girl pretty
course,
much set him
it's
up.
the club.
The girl set him up, and he was kidnapped. And his body was found on Monday near a ravine in the area of Robledo, pretty much with a bunch of stab wounds. So this is pretty much how it goes. A local investigator told the local media that he went to meet the woman on Sunday, and at 7 p.m., he contacted his brother asking for $2,000. And the authorities are saying
Jeez.
that he may have been killed after he tried to escape. They found some clothes, blood in the bag, and that they were able to confiscate that and apprehend one of the suspects. He was the 27th non-migrant foreigner killed in Medellin and in the surrounding area in 2023, which isn't actually
Wait, wait, how many?
27th
27.
this year,
Okay.
which kind of isn't a lot for the amount of crime that happens in Colombia nowadays. Not that the socialists took over, the communists took over. Yeah, but that's always been a thing. That's not a new thing. That's always been a thing that I've told these guys. It's that you got to be careful because see, you're going to a country you know nothing about. This has been a thing always that people have warned about. If
And
it's
he's going
too good
alone.
to be true, it's too good to be true. They use very pretty women who have probably had some surgeries done because that's the culture there. A lot of young women eventually get surgeries done.
And he's cheap.
Okay, and these guys, these gangs, and these criminal groups, they use these women to lure these guys, horny guys, who want to fly there and meet up and hook up with a girl.
Hmm.
And what happens is that these unattractive guys, and the guy's not extremely handsome, but he's not completely ugly. But they prey on that.
Yeah.
They're these women are pretty, they're sexy, they talk nice, people like the accents, and so they lure them and they say, "Hey, come see me." Blah blah. This guy went on a flight and said, "I'm gonna go see her because we're friends now," and he did it, and he got set up, and he got kidnapped for ransom, $2,000. Which, by the way, $2,000 is not that much money when you divide it up between a bunch of guys in Colombia. It's not. It's not a lot of money. It's about 10,000. It's about 100,000 pesos, which isn't a lot. It's about $2,000. So you see $2,000 in America, that's probably like maybe almost rents. That's mostly rent for the average family in America now. But for ransom,
So,
that's not a
oh,
lot.
okay. Well, so shortly after, a group of men contacted his family demanding a $2,000 ransom, nearly $8 million Colombian pesos, but killed him a day later after not collecting the money.
Yeah, yeah. So that's the thing. Yeah, they just
Wait, $8 million Colombian pesos, not a lot.
no, no, it's not a lot. No, it's
I
not
guess
a
the
lot.
way it's worded, yeah, it's
Yeah, a million pay. That's all. Yeah, that's like a
yeah.
thousand dollars, but it's not a lot. It's
Mm,
$2,000. It's not a lot over there. That's like the
mm,
monthly salary of a professional worker. It is, but for a ransom, think about it. You're ransoming somebody for $2,000.
yeah,
That's not a lot.
it's not a lot.
It's not a lot. But see, that's the thing. It's sad and tragic that this guy went there. I'm not trying to ridicule him after his death, but that's just part. Those are just the countless victims of things that have happened when people. It's not just Colombia too. It's Latin America. This happens all over Latin America. It happens in Brazil. It happens in Venezuela. It happens in Panama. It happens in Mexico. It happens a lot in these Hispanic countries, and it happens actually a lot all over the world. Don't think it's just Hispanic countries, but for Americans, that's our backyard, so it's very accessible to go there. But it happens a lot. And the problem is that the red pill guys, see, you're not targeted when you go in a group.
No, they're not.
You're
Yeah,
not.
he went alone.
He went by himself. So when you're in a group, these guys go to a club, and I've been seeing news articles. The club owners in Medellin, they're not liking these foreigners, these red pill guys, and these passport bros going to these clubs because you know why? They're only buying one drink and spending hours trying to land the girl, who, by the way, they're usually paying for. So they're cheap as hell, and they're saying like, yeah, I don't want a lot. And so these club owners are like, I don't want a lot of these motherfuckers in here because they're not buying anything. They're just standing here showing their passport around and saying, "Love me, have my child, trad wife." That's
I
pretty much
got
what they're doing.
money.
They're going to these
I can take
clubs.
care of you.
They're going to these clubs. They're going around looking for these trad wives because in America, no actual woman wants them. No actual woman wants them because they're boring. Most times they're ugly, they're unattractive, they have zero personality, they're bland. They do is play video games, they work out, and they work at McDonald's. And no offense, but that's just the reality.
Hmm.
See, if you have a daughter, I'm going to ask you this. If you have a daughter and she came home and said, I'm in love with this guy plays video games all day, he goes to the gym, he smokes weed, he has a vape or something, he chews tobacco, and he works at Guitar Center or Staples. I love him though. Would you be okay with that? Would you be like, would you be excited? Would you be proud? Would you say, "Oh my God, my daughter is gonna marry this guy. This is a man I'm proud that she's marrying." Are you content of handing your daughter off to this man at her wedding?
Oh man.
No, you're not. That's
I don't
the
think I
answer.
want that.
No,
I
you
don't
don't
think I
want
want
that.
that. I
You don't want
don't
that.
think I want that.
No, you know you don't. Nobody does. And see, when men are out here, these red
It's
pill
her choice.
motherfuckers.
It's her choice, but at the same time, I don't think I'm gonna like that at all.
No, don't say
Like
you don't think. You're
I
not gonna like that at all. You're not.
yeah, I'm not gonna like it. I'm
You're
not gonna
not gonna
like it.
like that at all. So the guys, these guys, and they're not. They're just man child. They're
Mhm.
man child. They're man children. They're men that are immature. They're childish. They haven't grown the fuck up. How can an ugly fat motherfucker, these red pill dudes on Twitter, go and call Margot Robbie mid? Motherfucker, you can't land a one. You can't land a one
Yeah,
or a two or a three, and you're calling Margot Robbie mid because she doesn't come to my standards of beauty anymore. She's old. She's washed. Washed, bro. You're not washed. Go take a fucking shower, dirty bitch. Like, what are you complaining about? This is what gets crazy to me. Okay, she's not your type. Who the fuck said she was available to you? Just
right.
say I get like if a guy's gonna say, okay, I just don't like I liked Margot Robbie when she was blonde, then she's brunette. Fine, that's legitimate. But don't
Yeah,
come out here and
right.
say she's ugly and I would never date her. Who the fuck says you have a chance?
Oh, she's pretty.
But even if she wasn't that pretty, there's no shot you would ever date her. Not you, but I'm saying these red pill guys.
Well, I know I don't have a shot either, so
Exactly. But it's exactly, but we're realistic. We live in the real world. We know like
yeah,
this is like, yeah, we'll just say, yeah, I didn't like her in that movie. If they just said, yeah, I didn't like her in that movie. I didn't like the movie Barbie. She did a bad job. Okay, that's your opinion. But to say, yeah, I don't like it because she's ugly and she's mid. What? What?
yep,
So that's what annoys the fuck out of me is that they can have standards for success, that they could come out on their podcast and say, I'm going to teach you how to make money getting crypto and stuff, and I'm going to teach you how to bang girls and be successful. But when a woman says, you know what, I want a guy who's successful. I don't want a guy who's, I want to marry someone or be with a guy. And by the way, the women that the red pills and the manosphere guys complain about, they are not most women. The women they constantly complain about are women that are promiscuous. They're hoes in the 304 in Miami or in LA who don't like them because they're ugly and boring and don't have the ability to ask them out. And see, those men who are complaining, they're not complaining because those women won't date them or those women won't marry them or because those women aren't the right women for marriage. They're not angry at that. You want to know why they're angry? They're angry because those women would never sleep with them. Because those guys want to hook up with
Ooh,
those women. Because they see
it's
that
actually a
those
good one.
promiscuous sluts, let's just say they're whores. That's who they're mad at. They're not mad at women. They're mad at whores in Miami. They're mad that those women never slept with them when they were on the same playing level, on the same field, when they were both broke and young. They never slept with them. So now that they have to work to get money, and good, get your money. Get your money. Get your money, own your little apartment, own your little yacht, be able to buy bottles at the club, do all of that. Be fit, work out, be in good shape. That's fine. Do it. But don't do it bitching about the fact that that girl didn't sleep with me, but she wanted to sleep with a guy, or she wanted to hang out or be with guys that had money and were successful. Yeah, no shit, she does. Why would she want to be with someone who's boring, who's broke, who has no interest in, who has no conversational abilities, and who has no life? Why would
Yeah,
anybody want to be stuck with that? Why should they be stuck with that? You shouldn't be stuck with that. You should have saw that and
even
said,
you,
yeah,
yeah, right.
I should be a better
Even I wouldn't want to
person.
suck.
The only
Mm-hmm.
person standing in your way, the only person standing in your way of being a successful person is you. The only person you have to blame in your life to why you're a complete mess, to why you don't have what you want, or what you think you can have, or be where you want to be, is you.
Yeah, man.
You're the reason. It's not
Talking
them.
shit,
It's
man.
not the woman. It's not the women that didn't sleep with you because you're not mad at the fact that they wouldn't date you. You're not mad at the fact that they're not the right women for marriage. You're not mad at that. You're mad at the fact that when you were poor, when you were broke, and when you were still and you were also boring and had no personality and no hobbies, they wouldn't sleep with you because you couldn't talk to them. You couldn't flirt with them because you had no game. But it wasn't because you had no game because you still don't have game. It's because you didn't have money. And yes, promiscuous women act like that. Promiscuous women like being around guys with money. That's not a sin. That's not a sin. See,
That's what they like.
guys like that, those guys, they like they like women who have big tits and nice asses and slim and flat stomachs and thin waists and wide hips. That's what they love. They love thick mommies.
Yeah.
I mean, but those women can't like rich men. They can't want those promiscuous women who aren't thinking about settling down with a righteous, strong man. They're not thinking about that. See, when you see that interview of Brittany, what's her name? Brittany Ray. No, Brittany, whatever the fuck her name is. The one who
Oh,
married,
that
who was with PJ. Brittany Reiner.
so that hooks up with like these NBA stars and all that.
Brittany Renner, whatever the fuck. Renner,
The
Reiner.
one that was like riding on Charleston.
That one, the one who was with PJ Washington, had a kid, then they had. See, when hoes like
Oh,
that,
really?
when hoes like that, see, they're not thinking, because I saw her interview with Unk, Shannon Sharp. I saw her interview. She is not the woman you want to get married to because she is not in her right mind of saying, I want to settle down. See, that's a woman that will date you, but also date another man because she's promiscuous. She enjoys
Mm-hmm.
sex. She dates guys
Mm-hmm.
who are boring and who have nothing because she wants sex. That's what she enjoys. She's a promiscuous woman. Do not compare her with 98%, 99% of actual women that do want to settle down. But they want to settle down to a masculine man who doesn't bitch and complain about women who won't sleep with them.
Yep.
They're not. That's not what they do. That's not what they want. They want a man who's capable, who's strong, who's educated in what he does, who's successful, who's motivated, who has drive, who has skills, abilities, that can hold a conversation, that looks you in the eye, that's normal, traditional. They want a traditional man. They want, and this idea to submit to a man. That, when did people start talking like this? When did people start talking like this? Back,
People like
look,
to look. People always like to look back in like the old times, like oh,
they never
women's
talked like
always
that.
submit to men. It's like
They
no.
never talked like that.
You know one thing that really pisses me off? Myron. He always brings up how like kings back then had like many wives and all that. Dude, not anyone can be kings here
Yeah,
in this
there's no kings
generation.
here, bro. There's no kings. And
Yeah,
this idea of
exactly.
you calling everybody kings, get the fuck
And
out of
you,
here. Kings.
yeah.
These are just a bunch of plebs.
I even said this before in the other episode. Like this is like reverse feminism. This is straight up
Bingo.
reverse
This
feminism.
is
Like
meminism. This is
at
meninism.
first when it's like social media is like, oh yeah, like it's funny and all that, and it's cool. But it's now they're just overdoing it and going over the limit. So it's like, okay, now you guys are just
They've become
weird.
what they hate.
You guys are being, yeah, exactly.
They've become what they hate. They
And
are
it's not
bitchy
not
men
the way to even do it either.
who complain, and they complain about this small percent. They're just as wrong and fraudulent as the feminists, and that's what they say. And they're hypocrites because when people like that come out and they come out and they come out and they say a woman over 30s is washed, a woman over 40 is washed, a woman over 24. They say
I
things like a
also
woman
hate
over
that too because
24.
that makes no sense. Here's the thing.
Makes absolutely no sense. It makes
I like older women.
absolutely no sense.
I'm the guy that likes older women. I mean I don't mind the younger woman too, but like them saying that a woman who is over 24 years old is washed, I don't agree with that at all. I don't.
And then oh well, if you're the man, you have to be the dominant one. You have to be the breadwinner. You have to be able to make the decisions, and you have to be the guy in charge. Yeah, sure, that's fine. That's all in dandy. I mean, nobody's been denying that.
Yeah, yeah, girls like that. You
Okay,
know, yeah, that's
that's
fine.
one. That's this. I say that to say this.
Yeah, yeah.
Those same guys, those same guys, Donovan, Donovan. He's married to a former single woman who's in her late 30s. And that woman has children with another man before they met. He's married to a single woman over 30, over 35, who makes more than him. And this motherfucker's out here talking about that, the man's gotta, you don't man's gotta marry women under this, they gotta marry virgins and this. What? What? And they want to hear this dumb fuck Andrew Tate coming out with these statistics. Who the fuck is giving these polls? Where are these polls of, oh, women like a man who isn't a virgin, and they like it when their body count is between 9 and 15. Where
What the fuck?
where did that come from? Who
Yeah,
wrote this?
they do that a
Who
lot.
is doing this? What in the in the what in the asinine fuckery is this? Like, how intellectually retarded do you have to be to come up with shit like this and then believe it? Because they
Mhm.
believe it. And this is coming from the guy who criticizes, they're like, the problem with young men is that they're watching too much pornography. Oh, but don't look behind my curtain as I'm talking because there's cam girls. Don't pay attention to me. Cam girls. I regret that. Bro, you sold that business like a year or two ago. What the fuck are you talking about? You were just having a slumber party with webcam girls in Romania. What are you
Yeah,
talking about?
yeah,
What is this? Do you think people are stupid? I mean, your fans are, but not us, not the real world, not the real world. So I get angry when I see these guys because they're leading down these guys a path of bitter, bitter, cold, depressing loneliness for the rest of their lives because they're effectively telling you that women do not like you because you are in the way you are.
mhm,
That's what they're telling them. That these women be cynical of women because those women only want you. They don't want you for you. They want you for what you have and they'll take it. Well, yeah, if you're dating a whore, yeah, that's what happens. Why do you think those athletes have all these divorces after they're done playing? They married all these promiscuous women because
yeah.
they saw a slim, thick woman who looks good, pretty face, nice fake hair, or nice whatever real hair, whatever, you know, hips, waist, flat stomach, boobs, ass. They married her because she was fine, but she wasn't right.
Nothing more from the inside. Nope.
But she wasn't right. And they married her and they had a kid or two. And then when they're done playing and there's no more $20 million checks or $5 million checks coming in every year, now what? Those women are like, bye. I don't want to be around you. Bye. I tolerate you
Yeah,
as long as you produce. And you're not producing no more? All right, I'm out.
and I'm really
So
getting sick and tired of the whole blame game. Uh, Men is doing this, woman's doing that. I think society in general is just screwed up. It really is.
the problem
Oh
is
my
that
God,
that isn't, see, that's not most women though. That's not what that I actually this last time, I've actually this a couple times. I think it's like, is that really the dating scene nowadays? Or is this the dating scene in Miami? or LA, where, by the way, most people don't live.
Yeah.
Most people don't live. I get it. The Sauce Cast, Adam, he wants to make you guys rich, but yet again, this is a guy who I guess the only reason he's happy is because he's had a lot of sex in his life, and that's what makes him an accomplished man. And I'm a man because
Who?
I'm Adam from the PBD. He has a show
Oh,
called
PBD.
Saucecast on that channel, SOS
Oh,
Cast,
right,
where he talks
right, right.
about getting rich, getting laid, and becoming a man. I mean, okay, but you're going to be a man who has money, who's maybe fit, and who's had a lot of sex, but what does that matter if you don't have a family? What does that matter if at the end of the day you're going home to nothing?
I agree.
You're going home and I mean, it's home just because you put your pillow on your head, but home isn't, you go to sleep in your home, but home isn't always where you go to sleep at night.
Didn't he also said that too? Like he regret not having a family?
Well, he's looking to have a child now, but he's in his 40s. But he keeps selling this message. He keeps selling this message, and that's what his show's about. Is this message of, yeah, young men, if you want to be successful, you got to make money, and you can have more women. But how is that a parameter for success? How is that a parameter for being a man? A man isn't a guy who has sex with all these women and deceives virgins by telling them, I love you, you can trust me, has sex with her, and then moves on to the next one and leaves a young girl pretty much reeling because she gave her trust to somebody and it was crushed. And they took the the one thing that you can only say once in your lifetime, men and women. You can only say that once. You can only have that once, and that matters a lot for women. That matters. That's why there's a thing in the for Christians and Catholics and Muslims that sex before marriage is bad. There's a reason why that's important. There's a reason that purity is so significant. And so to have
Yeah.
these pathetic motherfuckers, to have people like Tristan, who's a Catholic, I get it. He's a Catholic too. Fine. To have these Andrew's a Muslim, and to come out
I
and
thought it was
have
a
videos
question.
after all these time, so many, and I get it, those were years ago, but that's still them, because that's the content that they still advocate. They still talk about it. So yeah, they regret talking about I'm going to teach you how to sleep with a virgin, but they still talk about it. They still talk about how a virgin is what you want. It's so
And it's a
stupid
bit, yeah, and it's a bit too late for some of the guys that actually listen to the content and follow their lifestyle. So,
because I get it. If you have money, but what does the money mean if you're alone by yourself and nobody wants to be around you because you're boring and you haven't fixed yourself? You haven't fixed yourself. You have problems. You
and
don't
it
have a
happens with
hobby.
guys too. It's not a woman problem. Like, oh, I
That's what I'm
want a
saying.
career and I want money. Yeah,
The guys,
happens with
you
guys too.
have problems. You have
The guys
problems.
feel it. Yep.
You have problems where you don't have a personality, where you don't have hobbies, you don't have the ability to talk to a woman. Hell, she says, "Hey," you freeze up and you run away and you go back to reading your handbook from Andrew Tate. You log back into Hustlers University to look at. She said, "Hey, what do I say? Are you a feminist?
Yeah.
Do you only like me for the money?" It's like, yeah, everybody should strive for wealth in it, but you shouldn't be hooked on it. Money should not be your
Mm.
drug. It should be your tool for access, a key to access a better standard of life. That's why people strive for better. That's why people want to make money.
All right, gambler.
No, I'm just saying because see, they're trying to say that the woman, that see, if a woman wants to be associated with a wealthier person,
No, 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 yeah, yeah, I get what you're saying.
that's the problem. So I'm going to circle back to what we were talking about on this passport bro thing. These guys have made so much content and they've tried to position themselves. This is how clever they are. This is how clever they are. These passport bros and the incels and the red pill people, they make this movement seem as if it's not about sex. They try to tell you that this is about marriage, that this is about the Holy Trinity, that this is about, I'm just making stuff up, that they tell you that this is about religion, this is about being a man, this is about manhood, this is about,
Bro, most of them are you married. That's the
that's
funny
what,
part.
but this is what they tell you the movement is about. They tell you about that this is about this. We're protecting the family. We want real men back. We want this. We want the family. We believe in all this. Okay. But why are you guys going to clubs, nightclubs in Medellin, in Cali, in Cartagena, and all in other places in Colombia? Why are you spending your times in nightclubs? Don't you know who goes to nightclubs? You really think that the average girl in Medellin spends all of her nights in a nightclub? You think that the average girl in Colombia spends her evenings in those neighborhoods, in Laureles, in all those other ones, standing on the streets waiting for customers? You really think that those are the women? That those are the trad wives? You really think you're so? How stupid do you have to? How how intellectually, how mentally incompetent and autistic and retarded do you have to be to believe that there are women, that trad women are waiting for men in clubs in a foreign country? How stupid do you have to be? How
They ain't waiting
ridiculous
for
do
all.
you
They
have to
want your
be
money.
to believe that? To believe that they're going to be there waiting for you. That women are in those clubs waiting for dudes who can't cook, who can't clean after themselves, who live in shitty ass small apartments, who can barely pay their rent, play video games all goddamn day, go to the gym because some bald fuck told them to go there. Those guys who are awkward, boring, ugly, and broke, you think they're waiting for you. You really think they're waiting for you. No, I'm going to tell you exactly who is in those clubs and on those streets. Hoes. The same women you hate are in those goddamn clubs.
Yep.
And you're trying to sell me in the world the image that you're going there, to find a traditional woman who's going to have your children. Why the fuck should she have your children? You're a pathetic piece of shit. And I say that not because I
Yeah.
hate you, because I think you should improve yourself and get out of this goddamn cult.
Yeah, a bunch of hypocrites.
It's a lie. They're going there for sex. This red pill movement is just a way.
I don't even want to call it a red pill.
This manosphere red pill, the passport bro movement is just about finding a way for you to have sex with women that would never give you the time of day in America, and for a good reason, because you're using the passport and you're using the power of the American dollar in the with the currency exchange for access. You don't think that we know that you're paying for these women? You're really trying to convince me that they're doing this for free. I've seen it. I've seen it. I'm from that goddamn country. I know what it's like. You pay for that. You pay to play, bro. And you go there because the ones here, by the way, don't want to hook up with you for free. And you have to pay huge amounts of money to do it here. And yeah, the quality is down better there. But you're not going there to find a wife. And you know what happens when you try to make a hoe a wife? See, you can take this. You can get her off the streets, but you can't take the streets out of her.
Mm, yeah,
You can take her off the streets,
that's true.
but you can't take the streets out of her.
Yeah.
It don't matter nowhere. It don't matter where you put her. She's always going to be a hoe. That's what it's all about. See, and so these guys are telling you, go fly there, have some fun. He was in love with the hoe. He was in love, by the way, first of all, how do you fall in love with a woman you met online? You've never seen her. You've
How
never
long
met her.
has this?
You have no idea what she sounds like. Maybe you've seen her. Maybe you have web chatted. But I mean, you really think this is really logical? It sounds too good to be true. This
Yeah, and I bet.
insanely hot woman wants you, and for free, and she wants to see you, and it's for free. You really,
Yeah, and I bet most of you guys only know these women for like 1 or 2 months and use Google Translate to talk to her.
and you use Google
I
Translate to talk.
Dude, I want to know like this comedian. How long did he know this woman? Did they
I don't
mention that?
fucking know, but I didn't read the article enough. But that this is the problem. And I went on a little rant here, but this is my problem that I've been having with these people because they're going. First of all, they go to my country and they give it a bad name. They're trying to make it seem that
Dude's
all the
50.
women there are whores and that they're there. No, this is a specific group of women. That's why you're going to those neighborhoods at those times. Again, how stupid do you think people are? And so what you do is that you blame it all then again on women. That if only the women in America were as good as this. You mean they were whores that were cheap?
There's a lot of good women in America.
Yeah, there are good-looking women in America. Yeah, there are. See, but there's the good and bad everywhere. Yeah, there's bad
Oh yeah,
women in America. Yeah, of course
try
there is.
try try going to India. Good luck.
And I'm not saying like ugly women. I'm saying like bad women, like toxic
No,
women.
yeah, exactly. Like
They
personality
exist
wise.
everywhere.
Good luck.
You don't think that there's toxic women in Colombia? There is. I know some.
Oh man.
They are
Oh
toxic
my God.
women there.
I think I think the Philippines are also a hot spot
They're
for
going to
passport
the
bros.
Philippines. They go to
Europe.
Thailand. They're going to think I mean, they're trying to go everywhere. They're going to El Salvador, Mexico, Puerto Rico. They're going to Africa
I
now. They're
think
going everywhere.
I think it's mostly South America.
They're going to South. They're going to Africa now.
Why?
They want some black African bitch.
What's there in Africa?
I don't know. I don't know. Whatever.
Oh, since we're in this subject, I remember you mentioned this to me. Some guy who wanted to get with this rapper and spent like 60K or something like that, but she didn't want him that. I was trying to
No,
look for it, but I
this
couldn't
is the
find
story.
it.
Ruby Rose,
Oh, okay, okay.
Rubi Rose. Her OnlyFans. I know this by memory. I've been talking about it. I've been reading it and I've been talking about it.
You
This is nuts.
mentioned
Good
this,
thing you
yeah.
brought that up. I've been looking at this. This is insane.
I was looking for it, I couldn't find it.
So, by the way, I may have. I'll talk to you this off camera, but I may know somebody who does OnlyFans. I may have come across someone who does OnlyFans in person.
Of
In
course,
person.
in person.
In person.
Okay, okay.
I mean,
Oh, I think I know what you're saying. Okay.
so I know somebody. So I can see how this. So this Ruby Rose person, this Ruby Rose person, she's a rapper, obviously. She has an OnlyFans. I don't really know what she shows. I mean, I don't really get it. I don't really get like, what are you paying for, I guess? Like I don't think you're paying for, because I also heard the thing like there are OnlyFans women that actually you're not really talking to them. You're talking to like a dude who works for this person. Like there's a company that manages OnlyFans. This is kind of what the Tates do. The Tates manage webcam girls and OnlyFans people. You're not
Oh,
talking to the women. You're talking to some dude, some fat ass dude sitting on a computer like us.
oh, what a bunch of dumb trash,
And
dumbass.
these guys are paying money pretending they're talking, because I saw that article where like this is like a thing. Like this is like a job now. You work for like a
Yeah.
marketing company, and then it turns out that you're actually just talking to horny dudes who think you're the girl, who think you're Ruby Rose. Now, in this case, this is different, but that was like a similar problem that's happening. It's so desperate. It's sad. It's sad.
It is. Yeah.
So Ruby Rose has this customer who has spent over $60,000 on her OnlyFans. Now, I don't know if that's in this month. I don't know if that's this year. I don't know if that's all time. But he has spent $63,000 with it.
It's probably her whole lifetime in being OnlyFans.
No, 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 no. That's what he spends on her.
Yeah,
He.
yeah. Not a month or anything. Maybe like the whole
I don't know. I
lifetime
don't
of her
know.
doing OnlyFans.
I don't know. It doesn't
I
specify,
mean,
but I doubt it.
like if you're gonna spend 60K in a month, uh,
So he's a Bitcoin whale. That's what he wrote on his profile on OnlyFans, and he's pretty much looking for a woman who's going to talk to him. That's all he wants. That's all he wants.
you can just talk to an AI.
He wants to talk to a real woman who's hot, and she's not that great, but
Dude's not even attractive looking to me.
she's not, and
I think
he's not. Oh, so
no, yeah, him.
he went on what's his face's. He went on the jumper. He went on no jumper. Oh, see?
Mm.
Damn it. Now there's more things. I got to get into it again. He went on. I got to listen. I don't like no jumper, but I got to listen to it. He went on the podcast. His name is he goes by Lamar. And he went on there.
What's his last name?
No, he just that's what he's going by. Like he's anonymous. That's kind of like what they're saying. His Twitter account is at Lamar the Great 3. Lamar the Great 3. So he went on
Lamar
there
the
and he
Great.
pretty much said, I love that girl. She's my queen. I guess what's his name from the No Jumper guy? He asked her. Was it Adam? Adam
The
Jump?
Hispanic
Mike?
dude.
No, no, the No Jumper guy, the guy who has that porn star wife.
Oh, Adam.
Adam. Okay, yeah, Adam. Um, he asked her like, okay, like what is your fix? Do you have like a thing for her specifically? Like, are you obsessed with her? And he's like, I have every image, everything of hers on my OnlyFans account that I purchased. I guess supposedly. I mean,
What a weirdo.
I didn't purchase none of that shit. He was asked if Rose produces more pornographic content in paid for DMs on OnlyFans, to which he said he doesn't think she does. What?
Wait, what is it? Lamar Big Three?
Oh shit, no.
What is it?
Lamar the Great 3. This is on X. All caps.
OnlyFans crypto whale. Okay.
Yeah. So in a viral image Rose shared a few weeks ago, he was posing alongside her in apparent proof that he spent over $62,000 on her content, despite being only subscribed for 1 month.
Ah,
So in only
there
one
you
month, he
go.
spent $62,000. So this is the confusing part because it, I don't think she faked it. I don't think she faked it. I don't think she has the capability to fake that profile in that picture. I don't think so. It didn't look fake to me. It looked like just she took a photo of her phone to make sure like it was real. Like it looked. That's why it looks real. Look up. You can look at the photos and you can check it out on your end. But and I'll
Oh no, I do see it. I do see
you
it.
see
Yeah,
it. It looks real.
it does look real.
Yeah. So he's saying that he never purchased anything on her account, none of her content. But then see, that's why I said, that's why I looked into it. And people are saying that on OnlyFans, you have the option to tip them. You don't have to buy anything. You can subscribe to them and then tip them, like, I guess any amount, I guess.
Nerd alert
Like,
spends
you
60K
can
on
buy,
someone but
I
can't
guess, like,
donate $500 to poor artists needing dental work.
so I guess you can I guess you can buy like content, like videos, I guess, or photos, I guess. You can buy stuff, but you can
Mm-hmm.
also tip them. So he's saying he
Okay.
never bought anything. He subscribed, but he
He
never bought
just
anything.
he just tipped her.
I got in a situation where I just went and took a picture with Ruby Rose, right? I got paid for it. I didn't know exactly what it was for. I think it was like a promo thing or something or whatever the fuck it was, you know? I met up with her, I take this picture, the next day I'm like the fucking OnlyFans top spender. I knew I was there with some kind of thing where it had to do with the top OnlyFans spender shit, but I didn't know what the fuck was going on. They made it look like I was her top spender.
Have you seen his bio on Twitter?
What did it say?
OnlyFans show that he's still looking for my next queen at 101 spender on Instagram.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. It's like
So he's a sugar
I
daddy.
don't, I don't, I, I don't get it. He's making it seem as if. So he's
He's a
saying
sugar
he's
daddy, but
not
he's
a
fallen in love.
Bitcoin billionaire. So he's saying he's not rich. He has money, but he's not rich.
Then why is he posting all of this stuff?
And so he's
Look,
saying
not
that it made him seem like he was a creep or obsessed with her, but that she was nice to him during the encounter. He was saying that I was hanging out for her for 2 hours, maybe three tops, and they never got him to sign an NDA. Rose recently shared a video that showed the man allegedly asking why she hadn't been answering his messages after he invested so much money into her account. Lamar suggested that it was all fake to help Rose and her account go viral. He didn't know who she was when he met her. I mean, I heard of the controversy in the media beforehand. See, I don't get this now. See, what the fuck?
I mean, I just don't understand the post that he's doing too. Like his post was, "How much do you think I'm pulling out? Question mark. How much am I pulling? Pulling out racks? How many racks? Racks in my pocket." So I don't.
Yeah, so he spoke out and he got paid by her to do this? I mean, how the fuck do you find this guy?
What's the point of that?
I don't get. So they're saying the point of that was for her to get more like popular, like for her to be like, you know what I mean, like to gain like
Okay.
notoriety, go viral,
Right. Right.
and then people would join it.
Okay. Okay. Well, I say it's a waste of time.
I mean, she's not ugly.
No, she's pretty.
I mean, I can see it. I guess. I mean, whatever. But I mean, just spending OnlyFans like that—that's
She
insane.
does. She does look like a Nicki Minaj
Yeah,
2.0.
she looks like a Nicki Minaj ripoff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't
interview the
see
number
it,
one
man. I
masturbator in
just don't
America.
see
Why?
how people can like let that happen and shit. Insane.
Bro, she really does look like Nicki Minaj.
She does. That's her little sister or something. Yeah,
Oh,
it's so
imagine.
sad, man. And I get it. Like the guys, but it goes back to the red pill people. See, the guys complain, but there's also this on we're gonna wrap up after this. This is gonna be the last segment for today. I wanted to talk about something
Dude,
else, but we might get to it. We might get to it, but we're gonna end it soon after this is our last topic. But see, they complain, but did you see that in the New York Post? Apparently on Pornhub, there was an article in the New York Post that I guess Pornhub said. Look it up if you New York Post and then put like P Hub and then
but most of the viewers are guys.
the most trending topic was grandmas, gilfs
I
of
thought it was lesbians.
2023.
Oh,
Apparently, is it
2023.
2023 or the month? That's what I want you to verify because I can't find it right now. But that
Let me
was pretty
see.
much like
Pornhub
the
reveals the most popular searches of 2023.
and it was grandmas. It was gilfs.
And other elderly ladies are all the rage in the world of adults entertainment. Dirty new data from Pornhub shows.
Remember what did we say? We said remember what we said before we got on here. We said I told you a stat: 2% of women in America, I think, are on OnlyFans. It's a big number. It's a high
Surging in
number.
popularity by staggering 69%. And no, that number is not a typo. So it's legit 69%.
So ironic.
Yeah.
69.
Searches with
Huh?
the word quote unquote granny grew up by 132%, while quote unquote GILF
Ugh.
spiked by a significant 168% when compared with numbers from 2022.
This world has gone down the gutter, man. This world has gone down the gutter. Really, really, guys. Seriously. Gilf,
Well, it also proves that
grandmas.
this also proves that most guys like older women. So, because because
That's
you got
ridiculous.
people like Myra and everyone else saying like most guys like younger women. It's like no, no,
Yeah,
it's
but
not
so stupid
true.
though. See, you're not looking at. See,
It's a no. I no, I am. I'm just pointing out this little,
no, but see, you're saying that you're not looking to date an older woman. You're not looking to. You want to fuck an older woman. See, that's what they're. That's the lie, though. See, these guys are pretending as if all the things, the shit they talk is because they want to marry those promiscuous. They don't want to marry those women they're complaining about. They want to
they got
fuck
married.
them, and those girls won't let them, and that's why they're bitches. That's why they're mad. That's the truth about this movement. That's why those women don't want to sleep with them because they're boring, broke as hell, and boring as fuck. That's why.
Hmm.
That's why. That's it. See, that's the game they want to play. They like older women. They just want to fuck the older women. See, it's not because you want to marry an older woman. They're not looking out for marrying older women. They want to fuck those women. That's why they fly to other countries to fuck women because they can't fuck anyone here. The
You know
only
what's the
action
most?
they get in this country is their hand. That's it.
You know what's the top related searches in New Jersey,
New Jersey, what is it?
2023?
What is it?
Turkish.
Turkish.
I don't know why.
Yeah, exactly. What? I feel like this has to be wrong. Are Arabs watching so much porn?
I didn't know we have that much Arabs in Jersey.
We do, but I mean, like, are they really watching this much porn? I mean, the fuck, they're dirty infidels then. The fuck, they're haram as hell then.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
California, Asian
See,
stepmom.
but that's
Well,
the thing.
there's
We
a lot of
talked about
Asians
it
there.
offhand. 2% apparently are joining OnlyFans. I guess in the country, 2% of women, which is a big number when you say the country. But that's
Yeah.
because the demand is so high. And who's the demand? Men. So again, if the Red Pill guys are right about one thing when they say this. The men should lead. Yeah, the men should lead. But first of all, you guys aren't the men. But the real men should lead. The real men, we do need to be accountable and tell these young men, hey, do not fall for the sins of watching pornography. Do not fall for it. Do not fund this. Do not fund that you know isn't right. Save your money. Buy a house. Buy a car. Help your family. The money you spend on there, you could be spending it on so much more. So much more.
I
So
agree.
much more. And that's why I really just have a huge problem with this red pill movement because they're not accountable. They don't actually believe in what they talk about. They don't want to marry these women. They just want to fuck them, and those women won't let them. And that's not most women. Those are just the hoes, the whores, the sluts.
Mhm.
That's what
Yep.
they want. They don't like the fact that Megan the Stallions is on her knees and shit. They just want to fuck her, and they won't ever have access to it. That's why they're mad. You think it's they're mad? Yeah, I don't like her because I don't like the language, and I think it is demeaning and vulgar. And would I have sex with Megan Thee Stallion if I could? Yeah, of course I would. I'm not denying that. But I know that I don't have access to it, so I live in the real world. Why would I care?
Why would I try?
Why would I bitch about it afterwards? Like a little punk like them. Because that's what they really are. They're just a bunch of bitches. No, they really are. They're just a bunch of bitches, man. They're just a bunch of
Yeah.
bitches. So, I mean, that's how I'm going to end this here. RIP that comedian dude. But, I mean, you're being led down a very dangerous road of
Well,
pretending and lying to yourself. And you need to correct that before things get worse because it is a noble thing to have a family and actually date a real woman and not pretend that most women are just out there for your money, which, by the way, you don't have. Some of these dudes don't even have money and they're over here talking about prenups. What the fuck are they going to steal? Your PS5?
and I hope this is an eye opener for some guys.
It
I
won't be,
wouldn't say
though,
most because it won't be.
but it won't be. But you know what wasn't this episode? This episode opened people's eyes. This episode will open people's eyes. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys liked it. See you next time. Like, subscribe, follow us on Twitter, do all the stuff. We'll see you next time.
We're also gonna find some good words for the red pill guys, so I'll find some good
Man
words.
children. Man children. Man Manonism. Manonism.
Intellectuals.
They're manists. That's what they are. They're manists. All right. See you later, folks.
Stay racist, y'all.